All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Friday edition of the MLB Witching Hour. I got my guy Hamwich. We're back here grinding baseball each and every single day. Again, dog days, September, like I always say here. Interesting slate we got on tap here. No pitchers really priced way up there. You got Pablo Lopez up at the top. Going to have to talk on him. He's getting a pretty heavy dose of ownership there in his matchup against those Mike Trout and Ohtani list Angels there. Obviously, Ohtani had that shoulder surgery, not going to be pitching again until 2025. That's a shame to see. He will be back hitting next year, so we'll definitely not be seeing Ohtani anytime soon. But Hamwich, happy Friday, man. How we doing? I'll bring you in. How was your last night? How's your week been? How's everything with you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, nice to bring you in. We got a little combo going on, a little black shirt, white shirt, SHIPIT Nation combo. It's Friday. I'm drinking a Celsius. We're ready to roll. You knocked it out of the park last night. It's been a great week over here at SHIPIT Nation. Hoop won another millie. He didn't win a full millie, but he's chopped a millie. We crushed over here on TNF. I want to see for the 444. You've had an amazing week in the MLB streets. I just built the winner on DraftKings in the $15 tournament. So you're playing for second. If you get over there, I got a 5-man Brave stack. So looking forward to it. And yeah, these are the dog days of baseball. We're ready to ship some winners on this Friday night.
Yeah, well, you built the nuts. We'll see what happens. It's been a good week for me over here in the baseball streets. I see our guy Eric last night. Glad he pulled it up and he listened to that show, even with Thursday night football going on there, and listened to some of the winners, right, with Castellanos there, little Phillies against that chalk. I like going back to some of these Phillies tonight. We're going to talk about that. I think these Phillies get the job done again here tonight. We, the people in the chat, Mike Spencer, Brian Englund, always in here with the hashtag SHIPIT comment. We love to see that. If you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out a ton over here. And real quick, I want to bring this up to the top. We do have this 5-day trial period going on. If you guys have not subscribed yet to SHIPITNation.com, first of all, I don't know what you're waiting for, what you're doing. The content, tools, projections, everything we have over here is absolutely printing, absolutely crushing. It's been incredible for the low rate of $69 a month, $6.99 for the year. But you can get in, dip your toes in the sand there, and feel it out. $19 gets you a 5-day pass to all of our access behind the paywall outside of the Discord chat, which I do think the Discord is one of the best features of that. So if you guys have not, head over to SHIPITNation.com. Definitely give us a try. Sign up for a month, for the year, for the 6 months. But if you want to try it out first, just go ahead and hit that $19. Don't think you'll be disappointed. I'm just going to say that with everything going on. Obviously, NFL, NBA shortly around the corner, NHL. We had our meetings for those. Those sports are coming and rolling. PGA, MMA. I saw our guy Title and Marley already broke on that MMA card. That is tomorrow. We got a full week in the NFL ahead of us, but this is a baseball slate. We got 11 games on tap here. Let's talk through it, Hamwich. Let's do like we always do. Let's start with the pitching. We're going to go DraftKings pricing 8K and above. We're going to start with a couple names. I'm not going to read all these names out. You obviously can see them. 2 names I want to throw out for sure. 3 names, I should say. Pablo Lopez at the top seems to be 40 to 45% owned on this slate. Obviously gets those, like I talked about it already. Angels with no Trout, no Ohtani. A lot of strikeouts in there. Games at home there versus the Angels. Framber Valdez, $500 cheaper. I'm seeing 25 to 30% ownership on him. Projected about 3 points behind Lopez there. So a little discount ownership there. Gets that Kansas City Royals matchup at home there in Houston. And then Chris Sale. Chris Sale's been good, flashing upside, and now gets a very good matchup here against the White Sox. Hit on those 3 guys in particular, and then any of these lower-owned guys in here like Dean Kramer. You got Charlie Morton in there. You got some other guys in there that are all going to go low-owned outside of those 3.
Yeah, this is an interesting slate tonight, Nate, especially on DraftKings where you got to play 2 pitchers. But those 3 pitchers you alluded to are just in nut matchups. I mean, Framber Valdez has been absolutely scintillating over his last 5 starts, 20-plus DK points in his last 5. Well, I guess one of those 5 was 19.8. We'll round up to 20. But he faced his same Royals team as last time out in Kauffman Stadium, got 27 DraftKings points, pitched seven innings, 5 Ks, 11 ground balls. I mean, he's a ground ball pitcher, and the Royals can't hit lefties. I mean, I actually have him ranked a little bit higher than Pablo Lopez. I really like him tonight just based on that discount, based on that home environment, indoors. Give me Framber Valdez. I really like him tonight. The Royals striking out, I believe it's 27% against lefties on the road. They just can't hit. The only person that I would worry about would be the usual suspects, right? Bobby Witt and Nelson Velasquez. If we can maneuver around those two, it should be smooth sailing all night. Then let's go down to Pablo Lopez, who's also in a tremendous matchup at home, taking on this Angels team that you said no Ohtani, no Trout. They are putrid at the plate. I'm a little bit down on him as it relates to Framber just because he hasn't been as sharp as Framber Valdez has been over his last 5 starts. Now he does have a start in there where he put up 43, 44 DraftKings points 2 starts ago. But I'm going to have Framber ranked a little bit above him just based on the matchup, based on the conditions, and then based on the price as well. But Pablo Lopez, certainly a tremendous play. And you said he's going to be more highly owned than Framber. And then Chris Sale, once again, fantastic matchup. I believe we have good weather there, Nate. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. Good weather. And then there's really only one bat in this lineup tonight that gives me pause, and that would be Luis Robert. But as a whole, this team's striking out 28% versus lefties on the road. So I think those 3 will garner the most ownership. And then when you talk about Dean Kramer, I love Dean Kramer as well. My problem with Dean is that this Guardians team does not strike out at the same clip at home versus right-handed pitching that these other teams are striking out less than 20%. So I think that lowers some of his overall popularity. So I wouldn't take Dean Kramer. And then Charlie Morton, similar story. Good real life pitcher. He struggled a little bit, so he's not going to get anywhere near the ownership that those others that I mentioned. He is 9-9 tonight, facing this Nationals team that, generally speaking, doesn't strike out as much either. They have struck out, over the last week a little bit more than usual. But as on the season, it's only 20% at home versus righties. So I would have Charlie Morton 5th in that range.
Yeah, no, we definitely differ a little bit here. I think Pablo Lopez is light years ahead of Framber here. They're both ground ball pitchers here. I think Lopez just has a way better strikeout rate way better strikeout matchup, because if you look at Framber's numbers here, yeah, he's elite, absolutely elite versus lefties. He's going to face 8 right-hander hitters in this matchup here tonight. And over the last month, his K rate to righties is definitely significantly lower, right? 19.6, where that K rate that you're seeing is heavily inflated to left-handed bats. The Royals are rolling out 1 lefty here in MJ Melendez tonight. 8 righties there with some power. So I'm a little bit under on Framber. He still ranks very well in our metrics over here, but 19.6 strikeout rate on the season, still right around similar ground ball rates to Pablo Lopez. They're both going to get ownership. I'm just going to go ahead and find the $500 if I'm spending all the way up there and going to Pablo Lopez. I mean, you're facing guys like Joe Adell in this lineup, Brett Phillips, Eduardo Escobar. I mean, these guys, Jared Walsh. I mean, 29.3% strikeout rate on the season on the road here. I think Pablo Lopez, I like some of the Twins bats as well. So Pablo Lopez is in his tier of his own for me. I do think here. Chris Sale's actually going to be number 2 for me. My second favorite SP2 or SP on the slate. If I can, ideal world scenario, right? Play Pablo Lopez. Chris Sale, you're eating a little bit of chalk there. You can't 5-man stack those Braves, but we're going to touch on that. Braves are going to get ownership. They're very expensive. I prefer them more as a mini stack here tonight, unless you are punting pitcher. We'll talk about some pitchers that are cheaper that you can do that. You're going to talk about your guy that you've been stroking since the Titanic sank there in 1912. But we'll see what happens there. And then the other guy that ranks pretty well in our metrics that is going to be super, super low owned in this range is Taijuan Walker. I like the Phillies bats again here against McGill. I think he can pick up some runs, even if run support behind him, even if he does give up a couple of runs, right? The Mets have been hitting the ball a little bit. maybe he picks up that win, right? That gets those 4 DraftKings point, mitigates one of those earned runs there, and just get you a sufficient score. He's got a pretty healthy projection here. If he can get me 18 DraftKings points at his price point at 8,200, I think he's fine. So I actually got 3 guys up in this Pablo Lopez, Chris Sale, tier of their own. Taijuan Walker, a distant third for me. Framber, I get it, right? I get the matchup with Framber. I'm just going to mitigate. I'm already eating chalk at Lopez and Chris Sale. So I'm going to be a little bit under on Framber, but I definitely get the case for you. It was just the sub 20% strikeout rate against righties. He's going to face 8 righties here. So I'm a little bit under on.
Hold on, Nades. We got to make a wager on this. You and Parabay in the chat. I got to take my boy Framber. I already owe you $20, so let's go double or nothing. I'll take Framber. You take Pablo straight up DK points tonight.
Done. Booked.
You do remember what happened on Monday when my boy Wayne 050, Adam Wainwright. Where's my guy that was talking trash in the chat from Monday? Adam Wainwright goes 8 scoreless against those Brewers. All the cheeseheads up in Milwaukee. You love to see it with Wayno going 8 strong against those Brewers.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Valdez against guys I've never even heard of for this Royals team. Let's go, baby. Come on, Frank.
All right. I'll tell you what. I mean, I'll take that bet every day of the week, twice on Friday. So you can put that one in. There's no chance. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're pressing your luck a little bit. Hopefully your bad luck's going to hit today and not on Sunday when you're in that Mega Millie there on DraftKings for NFL. But let's go to this lower tier. We're definitely different at the top a little bit there. This lower tier, I want to throw out a couple guys for sure. Cole Reagans, one guy in that same game on the other end of that Framber game there. Going to pick up a little bit of ownership, not a ton. Sawyer Gibson Long, back-to-back good starts here. Now gets a matchup in Oakland, at Oakland. I like him quite a bit. He's one of my favorite pitchers on the slate when you factor in his salary. I know you're going to hit on your guy down there. He's projected to be about right around 18 to 20 something percent. I put it in about the 18 to 24, 23% range in Brandon Pfaadt. So I know you're going to hit on him. And then Ken Waldichuk, maybe against some of those Detroit bats are some of the names I'm going to throw out that I'm seeing ownership. Really, nobody else down here is getting ownership at all. One guy I did want to bring up is the Stone Min punt, or not the Stone Min, but the ultimate punt down at the bottom. And that's the Angels pitcher there going against those Twins. So hit on if you have any interest in Davis Daniel at 50. What is he? 4,500 makes those Brave stack work very easily. So hit on those guys, and then anyone else down here you have interest in.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't looking at this Davis Daniel kid. I mean, he only threw 3 innings his last time out, his only time out. So I would need to look and see like what his pitch count is. I mean, 3 innings just isn't going to get the job done, and he averaged 22 pitches an inning. Last time out at 66 pitches. So I would probably be out on him. I mean, I understand we don't have to get many points out of him, but yeah, let's talk about my boy, Brandon Pfaadt, who has been striking out righties. And I'll tell you the reason why I like him. I like the price, of course. Also been striking out right-handed hitters 27% over the last 30 days. And then you go over to this Yankees lineup, who honestly is not very good right now. Strike out a bunch the other night against Kevin Gausman. I understand that this kid is not Kevin Gausman, but we're trotting out 6 righties, striking out a 24% clip on the season. I mean, outside of Aaron Judge, I'm not worried about anybody in this lineup. I don't care about Gleyber Torres, Giancarlo Stanton, and whatever his batting average is, sub 200, I believe it is. So give me Pfaadt as a low owned punt. I think he comes in much lower owned than I think you said 18 to 24%. So give me Pfaadt down there. And then, yeah, Bill, we definitely like SGL tonight for these Tigers. I have him in my team right now on DraftKings. Nades, I'll let you touch on Sawyer Gibson Long because we do both have interest in him at 7,700.
Yeah, Sawyer Gibson Long is definitely in my top 4. I like 4 guys on the slate, really. I mean, Pablo Lopez, 2 guys at the top in particular, Pablo Lopez, Chris Sale. Sawyer Gibson Long's probably my 3rd favorite pitcher on the slate. The matchup, everything checks out. I'm seeing pretty low ownership on him right now. I do think that does rise as we approach lock here. I'm seeing right around 15% projected on him. I think that approach is probably 20 to 25, but I really don't care, to be honest with you. It's just a matchup play for me. He's back-to-back good starts. I think he's definitely firmly in play for me. Brandon Pfaadt, that you bring that up, I think it's an interesting play at 6,800. But really, I mean, outside of those top guys, I'll throw Javier in that mix, right? So Pablo, or not Javier, Valdez, excuse me, Lopez, Valdez, Chris Sale. I mean, really, who else are you interested in playing on this slate? I mean, all these guys in between that we're talking about can definitely blow up. Sawyer Gipson-Long, I do like quite a bit, but he has only had 2 starts, right? We don't really know what this guy's talent level is at the major league level. He's had 2 good starts. I like him. I'm not saying that he's not good or it won't be a consistent MLB major league level pitcher, but these other guys in between here, we're kind of just throwing darts at the dartboard, hoping they stick, right? Hopefully we get enough points and our bats kind of carry the load. So that is where the case does come in to absolutely stone punt a $4,500 pitcher against the Minnesota Twins team, who on the flip side are going to get ownership right on the bats. I do like the Twins as well against him, but I mean, this guy's 4,500. If he goes out there and throws 3 innings, 4 innings, picks up a couple strikeouts, this Twins lineup is still striking out 28% against right-handed pitchers. So it's more the salary, what it does for the lineup. And who's to say that, hey, saving $3,000, $4,000 off some of these guys, that he can't go out there and get you, if he gets you 10 and say, let's just say Brandon Pfaadt gets you 10, I'd much rather have 10 points from a guy that's $2,200 cheaper, because that $2,200 cheaper can get you some of those Braves bats, some of those expensive bats, the Dodgers, the Phillies, things like that. So there is case to be said, punting all the way down to Davis Daniel. Don't love it. Not a comfortable play. It's a pretty gross play overall. I mean, this guy does have a 40% fly ball rate in the minors, looking at his metrics here. Twins have a lot of fly ball hitters, but they also have a lot of strikeouts. And I mean, there's multiple bats on this slate that are priced over Davis Daniel, and he's going to have the ball in his hands with the ability to get strikeouts where a lot of hitters don't, right? Any hitter can easily get a 0 on any given night. So do have a little interest in him. Some other guys down here, I think Kevin Waldichuk is in play. You could play him. He's been terrible over the last 30 days, but it is still the Detroit Tigers. I know some people were talking about the Tigers in the chat a little bit. They are cheap. I think people play the Tigers to fit in those Braves, fit in some expensive bats. I think he's fine. But really, I mean, it's Sawyer Gipson-Long down here, dropping all the way down to the bottom in Davis Daniel if you need ultimate salary. And then I would have I'm gonna side with you and Brandon Pfaadt as well. He was very good that last start. Won you that 4-4-4-4 ticket there, and gets these Yankees that you can definitely strike out some of them. So a little bit different down at the bottom. Let's go ahead and rank the top 4 pitchers. We talked a lot of pitchers here. Let's give the people our top 4, and then we'll go game by game.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna say Framber Valdez is SP1 on the slate for me tonight, so I like him on both FanDuel and DraftKings. I think his price on DraftKings is really advantageous. Number 2 for me would be Pablo Lopez. He's in a great matchup as well. Number 3 for me would be Chris Sale. Like his matchup. And then 4 for me would be Brandon Pfaadt. I'm going to skip over Gipson-Long. And then we really didn't touch on Cole Reagans that much. Cole Reagans kind of came onto the scene for 3 or 4 starts. I think he had 3 or 4 30-point games in a row, but he's kind of fallen off, and he's on the road tonight in Houston. So I'll pass on Reagans, and if he beats me, he beats me. But just to recap, Valdez, Lopez, Sale, and then Pfaadt would kind of be my my low price guy that I'm going to have to pay to get up to some of these bats.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. Yeah, we're definitely different here. I'm going Pablo Lopez, all things considered, number 1. I think he's the highest scoring pitcher on the slate. I'll take that bet. Like I said, already booked. You can check that one in. So I'll send you the Venmo request at about 11 p.m. tonight once he outscores Valdez there. I'm going Chris Sale, number 2, Sawyer Gipson-Long, number 3 for me. And then I'm going to throw in I'll side with you in Brandon Pfaadt there. I do think he can definitely pick up some strikeouts at 6,800 there and be enough as an SP2. Again, if he gets right around to where his projection is, 14, 15 points, I think that's plenty on the slate, especially if the Braves, Phillies, Dodgers, some of these high-priced offenses do go off like they are anticipated to.
You can get a 5-man Brave stack with Pfaadt and SGL, so that's a good pairing. Stars are aligning Nades and Ham on the same on Pfaadt as the 4th best pitcher. So let's rock and roll, Nades.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about one of the chalkiest offenses on the slate here in the Braves. I do think they're not going to be the chalkiest. I do think when we talk about the Red Sox, who are projected to be higher owned than the Braves, because if you look at the price point and you see Tuki Toussaint on the other side, I'll touch on my points on that once we get to that game. But looking at the Braves here in Washington, temperatures in the 70s, low 70s, high 60s, double-digit wind, 11-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from center field. But it is still the Braves. It's still the Atlanta Braves against Mr. Patrick Corbin. Braves are built to smash left-handed pitching. They get a lefty here in Patrick Corbin. We have seen Patrick Corbin be a sufficient enough real-life pitcher and mitigate some damage here and there, but these Braves have smashed Corbin in their career. Implied to score, highest implied run total on the slate. Everyone knows, right? The Braves against Patrick Corbin. Kind of going in here blindly, but if you look at these price points, I mean, they're expensive. I talked about Orlando Arcia last night. He 15 DraftKings points. I think he scored in the 8 spot or 9 hole last night. I love him. He's hitting up in the 6 spot tonight here. So bumped up in that lineup a couple spots. He's hitting in front of Michael Harris, Sean Murphy. Kevin Pillar is a cheap bet in that lineup. I do expect quite a bit of ownership on Kevin Pillar at just $3K. Historically hits lefties very well. He's hitting 9th, but 1 through 9 firmly in play for me, the Braves. You do have to make sacrifices at the pitcher spot to play these guys. Think it's definitely firmly in play. I prefer the Braves more as a mini stack here because I do like these top arms on the slate, and you can't just it's impossible to spend up at pitcher and 5-man stack these Braves. So I'm a little bit under on the Braves in terms of a 5-man stack, but love them as mini stacks, one-offs. I think they're great plays. And then no Nationals for me personally, but do you see something I'm missing?
Yeah, no Nats. No Nats for me tonight. And then the Braves, when I was looking at the slate, it's hard for me to get off this Braves team. When we picked on Patrick Corbin, he is absolutely horrendous. And just looking at these offenses, there's only a handful of offenses, in my opinion, that can match the Braves upside. Braves have a 6 implied run total. And you said it. If you get the 1 through 4, any of those pieces in your lineup, you're going to have to start getting some of the PFOTs, some of the SGLs of the world in your lineup. And I think that's okay. I think they can make up for that. But I like 5-man Brave stacking, and I like 4-man on FanDuel tonight. I just think that they are such a tough offense to fade, and you're going to have them, in my opinion, to be at the top of the leaderboard. So I'm 5-man stacking them and 4-man stacking them in all the teams that I play tonight. Yeah,
no, definitely. You can't go wrong, right? It is the Atlanta Braves. My 2 favorite bats on the Braves, I think, are actually 5-6 stacked there. Orlando Arcia and Marcell Ozuna. A little bit more reasonably priced as a secondary stack too, 4,600, 3,700. Nobody ever really plays Orlando Arcia. Fills a pretty weak shortstop position, and he's been very good all season long. Obviously an all-star. So I do like that mini stack there. But yeah, I mean, same story. Braves 1 through 9 firmly in play. Let's talk about the next game here. We have the D-backs in Yankee Stadium facing Luke Weaver. Brandon Pfaadt on the mound. I don't have a ton of interest in either side of this game. I mean, you could play some of these D-backs, I guess, against Luke Weaver here, who below average strikeout rate, expected ERAs up there near 6, double-digit barrel rate. D-backs could get to him a little bit here. I think the D-backs, I was going to say they're going overlooked here, but they are going to get ownership, one of the highest owned stacks on the slate, because people see Luke Weaver on the other end. So I think the D-backs are definitely my preference here, but overall, I don't have a ton of interest in this game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, full fade for me on the Yankees. I mean, if you wanted to play Aaron Judge, that's obviously not the worst play, but Pfaadt does well against the righty, so I'm out on the Yankees. And then similar to the D-backs, I'm going to pass. I mean, Luke Weaver's not good by any means, but just what I look at, these D-backs don't stand out to me. I'm going to get these Braves in there and try to find another stack to pair with them.
Yeah, it's also 60 temperatures in the mid 60s in Yankee Stadium. Again, 10 to 12 mile an hour winds blowing in from center field too. So pretty good pitching weather there for Mr. Brandon Pfaadt. So I do like to see that going to him. Next game on the slate, I have a ton of interest in one of the sides here. I'm going right back to the Phillies tonight against Tyler McGill. I don't think Tyler McGill is any good. Gives up a ton of power to the lefties. And these Phillies have a lot of good lefties. And over the last month, these Phillies have been smashing the baseball. Their entire lineup, outside of one hitter, is bright green across the board for ISO and WOBA. I think they're excellent stack tonight. I love them. They are expensive. Some of the guys you want to play, right? Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper. They're expensive. They're a direct pivot off the Braves at a little bit discount off the Braves at significantly lower ownership. So I do like the Phillies quite a bit here. Still implied to score right around 5.1 against McGill. I just stacked against McGill all season long. Not going to change here. So I like these Phillies quite a bit. And then the Mets side for me is a pass. You can always play Pete Alonso, right? Mark Vientos, I think, hit a home run last night. He's 2,700. I've brought that guy up far too many times this year, but hey, hit a bomb last night, 2,700. You can never go wrong with a value guy that has home run upside. So off the Mets personally, but where are you going in this one?
Yeah, you nailed it with the Phillies. I mean, give me all these lefties for the Phillies. I mean, McGill just gets absolutely hit hard by these left-handed hitters. So Kyle Schwarber's got to be at the top of your list. Bryson Stott, and then Bryson Stott and Bryce Harper would be the two other lefties that rounded out. But really like those lefties tonight. Tough to pair with the Braves and get good pitching, but they're going to get a lot of runs. And see, I like these Mets a little bit more. I know you had a little bit of interest in Taijuan Walker. I will gladly stack against Taijuan Walker. I would take Alonso. Brandon Nimmo is actually my favorite Met. Francisco Lindor, 2 stolen bases last night, which always helps. I'm not really high on Jeff McNeil. I never like playing Jeff McNeil, but give me 1, 2, and 4 for those Mets, and then those lefties for the Phillies. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely make a case for the Mets, right? Taijuan Walker has control issues, pretty low strikeouts overall. Hasn't been great over the last 30 days. I just like other offenses better personally on the slate, but you could make a case for them. They are pretty reasonably priced, so do think they're fine. I just like other spots better personally. Next game on the slate, I don't have a ton of interest in this one. 2 decent real life pitchers. Orioles both sitting right around 4 implied runs. Dean Kramer on the mound, Shane Bieber. Not a ton of interest in this one. Obviously, you can always play guys like Gunnar Henderson, right? Santander. Ryan O'Hearn's been very, very good, still very reasonably priced. One guy I do want to bring up, though, for these Orioles is Heston Kjerstad there. 2,700 lefty, hitting 7th. Very, very, very good numbers against righties in his limited sample size. I think he's a great value play if you find if you need a one-off, right? You need salary on this slate to spend up. Those Braves bats, things like that are expensive. If you need salary, I think Heston Kjerstad makes a ton of sense there at 2,700. Should go pretty low owned. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats is usually like I like to see that away team for the one-off because if he does get that extra at bat, it makes a lot of sense. Definitely helps out. And then I'm not signing up to play any Guardians or Indians, whatever you want to call them, on an 11-game slate. So a little bit under on this game. Heston Kjerstad, my favorite bat.
Yeah, this is a unique game because generally speaking, years past you wouldn't want to pick on Shane Bieber, but it's first time pitching in well over a month, so we don't know what we're going to get out of Shane Bieber. And this Orioles team, Pinsack is doing what Nades likes to do to the Brew Crew, and that's what that is. And so this Orioles team always shines, in my opinion, when they're low on. They're going to be super low on tonight, facing Bieber. Not a great ballpark, but I wouldn't mind these lefties. You mentioned all the ones to play, the lefties especially. So give me. I have interest in these Orioles. Give me them, and then none of the Guardians. Not going to pick on Dean Kramer tonight, but just the Orioles.
Yeah, no, we're a little bit aligned there. If, like I said, if I did go to a side, it would be the Orioles there. Next game, we have to talk about it. We have to talk of the chalk of the slate, which is crazy to see because when you look at the weather forecast, 57 degrees wind blowing in Fenway here. I mean, not great hitting conditions anywhere on the slate, but it's just a matter of the slate that's in front of us. Touki Toussaint actually hasn't been that bad, and everybody wants to go and play these Red Sox because they have a 5.4 implied run total. And if you look at their price points, they're very cheap, right? 3,600, 3,900. They're sitting right around 4K or under, 3,800, 2,700, 2,800. They're cheap. You can definitely afford them. You can spend up, and you can get a Braves mini secondary stack there, 3-man stack. So a lot of teams go Sawyer Gibson-Long or one of those value guys in that mid-tier pitching. They go either Lopez or Valdez at the top, Chris Sale, one of those guys, or even two of them with 2 or 3 Braves is a lot of the teams in the optimizer there. So I'm personally taking an underweight approach in this game. I'm going to fade this game in terms of bats. Just hope that the temperatures in the 50s with slight wind blowing in Fenway is enough to allow for this game at the ownership to not go off on the Red Sox side. And then no White Sox for me against Chris Sale. Chris Sale, one of my favorite pitchers, especially when you look at the weather in this game. So I'm under on this game. And If you want an ultimate GPP play, MME, I would definitely keep Touki Toussaint in your pool. It's crazy to say, but everyone wants to play the Red Sox side. Touki Toussaint on the other side of the Chris Sale, where everyone wants to also play him, has the same pitching environment, same pitching conditions overall. So don't think he's the craziest play, and he's actually not been horrible.
Yeah, I'm with you on the White Sox. No White Sox to me. If you wanted to get different as a one-off, I think Robert profiles well against Sale. And then actually, I am with you on these Red Sox. I will be lower than the field on these Red Sox, but I actually prefer the bottom half of this lineup just to get different. I think they actually profile a little bit better against Touki than the guys in the front outside of Rafael Devers. I really like Devers. And then I would like, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Big bad Bobby Dahlbeck. I think he's batting 8 tonight. Connor Wong in the 9 hole. I don't mind. Trevor Story batting 7th, and then Yoshida batting 6th. I actually like those better than everybody 1 through 5 outside of Rafael Devers.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. Let's jump into the next game. Before we do, if you guys are new, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. See a bunch more people have joined since we started this show. Again, if you are not a member yet, head over to shipitnation.com. You can get all of our premium content for a trial rate of $19. Gets you all the access, including the entire NFL weekend here. It'll take you through Monday Night Football, take you through that MMA slate. You'll get all of it, get a little taste of our content behind the paywall outside of the Discord chat. So if you have not signed up already, I don't know what you're doing, but you can definitely get in before you do commit to a year package, monthly package, or the 6-month option that we do have. NBA's coming up. Like I said, MMA slate, NHL is coming up. Great time of the year here. Obviously, the full NFL schedule in front of us as well. We have everything you need to have success with DFS over there. So check that out. And if you don't, just the like button and subscribe button helps us out a ton right here on this channel, where we do bring you all these shows for free each and every single day. We have sports going live on this channel. Next game on the slate, I have interest in one of the sides here on the Mariners side, in particular against Dane Dunning. Dane Dunning has not been the same Dane Dunning earlier this year. He's given up 19 runs, I believe, in his last 4 starts at home. Obviously, he had one very good start there, but the other 3 starts weren't very good. These Mariners have a lot of power. Julio Rodriguez hitting the ball really well. Cal Raleigh, Tio Hernandez, Suarez, Jared Kelenic back in the lineup. I like him. Dominic Canzone, 3K, continues to crush the baseball, 3K flat. So I actually like these Mariners quite a bit. They rank decent in our metrics over here in terms of stacks, projections, everything like that. They're very, very affordable stack. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats here. Not the greatest hitting park overall in Texas. Haven't looked at the roof. I'm assuming the roof might be open.
No, it's closed tonight. Yeah,
it is closed. That doesn't matter too much. It's just more of a bet against Dane Dunning. I'm just, like I said, looking at his last start up against the Astros. Obviously, it's the Astros. They're crushing the baseball. Gave up 9 earned runs. Start before that, he gave up 3 to the Brewers. His best start was against those White Sox, but we know what the White Sox offense is. And then the start before that gave up 5 to the Dodgers. So maybe it's a little bit of a result of the offenses, right, with the Astros, the Dodgers there. But I think these Mariners can definitely get to Dane Dunning a little bit here. So I do think the Mariners are in play for me. And then the Rangers on the other side, Rangers at home against a righty here. You got Bryce Miller on the mound. I think both sides of this game are interesting from bats. Pretty weak spot, pretty weak offense overall on the slate in terms of hitting weather. This game's inside. I think both sides make some sense personally. Are you with me?
Yeah, I really like these Rangers tonight. We got Adolis Garcia back in the lineup. I think he's batting 5th tonight. So he profiles very well. I mean, Corey Seager can play him every single night. So we've been away, or I've been away over the last 2-3 weeks from this Rangers team with no Garcia. He's back in the lineup. He's slowly getting integrated back into the offense. He hit a bomb the other night. And we always talk about it. We talk about it all year long, Nades. Rangers at home against the righty, and no one's going to play him tonight. I mean, they have big boy price tags like they have all season long. You know, that not the same as the Braves, but they kind of rival the Braves. It's tough to fit them in some of these pitchers. So I do like pieces of this Rangers team, and same thing on the other side on the Mariners. I mean, you've beat the drum on picking on Dane Dunning, and it's made us a lot of money over here at SHIPIT Nation. So I like this game to go over the posted total. I think both sides are in play. Cal Raleigh would be my favorite Mariner, but I don't think a mini stack is the worst thing for these Mariners. So, yeah, this is a great game to stack in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with we the people here. I think there is a game stack. I don't like game stacking too much on an 11-game slate. You just need a lot of things to bust and a lot of things to go right in this one game. But if it does, it's not about like we always say, right? It's not about how often you win. It's about how much you win when you do win. So could get it. I like both sides. I like two value plays a ton in this game. Evan Carter, number 1. Dominic Canzone, number 2 on the Mariners side. Give me these Rangers lefties because looking at the numbers here over the last month for Mr. Bryce Miller, sub 20% strikeout rate to lefties, ISO numbers north of 270, and ground ball rate of just 15%. So give me those lefties. And Mr. Evan Carter there is probably one of my favorite bats on that Rangers lineup, hit 9th there. Has power, has speed, so I like him quite a bit. But yeah, like both sides. Next game on the slate here, we have those Kansas City Royals. Sorry, Ash, your terrible Royals are heading into Houston here to face Framber Valdez. I think this is a pitcher's duel in this one. I think Cole Reagans wouldn't be the craziest play on the other side here. I actually pulled up his numbers over the last month. Gets a very tough matchup. I get it here. But looking at his numbers over the last month, right, 35.4% K rate to both sides of the plate, striking out lefties at a 47% rate, 33.5% to righties, and that's in 96 plate appearances, right? So Cole Reagans might bump up. I know he ranks well in our metrics over here too, so I might have to give another look at Mr. Cole Reagans there to bounce back at 7,800. But tough matchup against these Astros. Astros implied to score 5.1 runs here, one of the highest implied run totals on the slate. They've been very good. They don't strike out a ton, but I think I'm a little bit under on this game in terms of the Astros side for sure, and then no Royals for me against the ground ball guy in Valdez.
Yeah, you know me. Framber's my number one pitcher, so no Royals for me. He's got the best strikeout matchup, so he will outscore Pablo Lopez tonight. Then on the flip side, Cole Reagans, the worst strikeout matchup on the slate, so I do not have any interest in him. But with that being said, I have respect for him. So I won't be stacking these Astros just because I like the Braves a lot better. I think they face a much worse pitcher. So this game's a complete mark-off as it relates to bats for me.
Yeah, excellent breakdown. Next game I think we have to talk about for sure. Angels, I think, are the easiest cross-off spot on the slate in terms of bats. Not going to do any of that. Pablo Lopez, my favorite pitcher. Don't even think you need a leverage. I think there's better spots to leverage personally on this slate. So no Angels for me. But the Twins, you have to talk about them, have a very good implied run total here. They're very, very cheap up and down that lineup. You want to talk about a lot of teams. A lot of teams are either going to go Red Sox and Braves or Twins and Braves, I think, personally here. I brought up Davis Daniel, the point to play him. He's just 4,500 against a team that strikes out near 30% against righties at home. But these Twins, I mean, you got some guys here, Jorge Polanco, Max Kepler, Julian, Matt Wallner. Give me these lefties if you're not playing Davis Daniel here. He is a fly ball guy, so I want the fly ball hitters. At least he was a fly ball guy in the minors. Again, we don't have too big of sample size here for him in the majors. But Polanco, 46.5% fly ball rate over the last month. Michael A. Taylor, is he in that lineup? Yes, he's confirmed hitting 8th. He's got a 46.2% fly ball rate. Willie Castro, I mean, this entire Twins lineup, outside of one guy, and that's Matt Wallner, has over a 27% fly ball rate. So these Twins could get the job done. I know our guy Hoop, who continues to print money, is on these Twins. So might have to take another look at these Twins. I think they are going to get ownership here on the slate. But it doesn't really matter. They're super cheap against a fly ball pitcher here in Davis Daniel. So definitely have some interest in these Twins. Are you with me?
Yeah, I think so. No Angels for me. Just to start off with, Pablo Lopez, I have him number 2 pitcher of the night. And then these Twins, they are going to be popular. I mean, their price tags are easy to fit on DraftKings when you get the Pablo Lopez's and the Framber Valdez's in your lineup. It's easy to stack with those Twins. Yes, and we don't know much about this Davis guy, so I think they're going to be popular tonight. And sometimes when these Twins are popular, they don't always live up to expectations. So I will have interest in them. I will be underweight on them tonight. Once again, I'm stacking the Braves and trying to find another offense to pair with them. And these Twins might just be in there. We'll see how it shakes out tonight.
Yeah, no, great breakdown. Couple games left, 3 games in particular. Next game on the slate we have to talk about. It's the Tigers in Oakland. Not the greatest park for hitting, but you got 2 lefty mashers right in the heart of that lineup projected in Torkelson and Jake Rogers. I have a ton of interest in both of those guys, especially Jake Rogers at just 2,900 against Ken Waldichuk here. Athletic side, it's a pass for me. I saw our guy in the Discord pulling the card for me, right? Bringing up Lawrence Butler. He's calling double dong for Lawrence Butler. Personally, I'm off. I'm off the Athletics here, all of them. I think some of these Tigers, preferably Torkelson and Rogers, I think you could play. Kerry Carpenter, you can always play him. Zach Short as a punt guy there, 2,400. I might expect these Detroit Tigers to load their lineups with righty here against Waldachuk. Don't hate some of them. Again, my two favorite bats in this game by far are Torkelson and Jake Rogers, but overall, not a ton of interest in either side of this one.
Yep. And with lockstep with you, Nate's not playing anybody in this game. The only one would be Spencer Torkelson as a one-off, but definitely no A's, definitely no Tigers outside of Mr. Torkelson.
Yeah, no, we're in lockstep. Next game, I do have to have interest in one of these sides because these Padres are at home facing Dakota Hudson. I stack against Mr. Dakota Hudson each and every single day. You look at his numbers and 6.6% strikeout rate over the last 30 days, walk rate of 13%. So usually that's not too good, Hamwich. I'm not a super analytical data analyzing guy, but when your walk rate's higher than your strikeout rate, that goes pretty well for DFS scoring for the opposing team in terms of bats. So got to have a lot of interest in these Padres. I think these Padres are a great play here tonight against Hudson. Gives up a ton of power to lefties as well. And, well, you got Juan Soto, you got G-Man Choi expected to be in there, Trent Grisham, a couple of lefties that can crush the baseball here. And then you got some big-time righties, right? Xander Bogaerts, Fernando Tatis, Machado, Luis Camposano has been crushing the baseball as of late, fills a weak catcher position. So I have a lot of interest in the Padres personally. No interest really on these Cardinals personally. Richie Palacios, I think, would be my favorite, 2,800. He's got good numbers against righties, expected to hit fifth at just 2,800. Just be him for a value play for me personally. But do you see anything else?
Yeah, no, the G-Man, 2,400 on both FanDuel and DraftKings. I think this Padres roster is good to pair because you can 5-man or mini stack them just based on the prices. You got Tatis, you got Machado, you got Soto that are going to have those big boy price tags, but you also have guys in the middle of that order and the top of that order that are going to be cheap. You can pair them, and I think, Dakota Hudson, Nate said it, can always pick on him. Goldschmidt left the game. I think it was early yesterday, but we have him in the projected lineup. If he misses, that would be a huge blow to that Cardinals lineup. But you alluded to Palacios, does profile very well against Matt Waldron. So no real interest in the Cardinals. I do have interest in the Padres. Friday night, this team could get nasty against Dakota Hudson.
Yeah, no, excellent breakdown. One game left, last game on the slate it's Friday night. It's the Dodgers at home here against Sean Manaea, who seems to be a starter now. I don't think they're opening in front of him. Got to have interest in some of these Dodgers, right? Here against Sean Manaea, Friday night Dodgers. Dodgers implied to score right around 5.1. Kind of in that same tier as a lot of these teams, right? The Padres, Texas. You got a lot of teams sitting right around that 5.1 implied run total here. Dodgers late night hammer here. You got Mr. Mookie. And the answer is always Mookie, especially against a lefty. Will Smith hits lefties very good. JD Martinez continues to crush the baseball. These Dodgers are going to load their lineup with righties. Most of it pretty much up and down. And then maybe some of these guys will get pinch hit for Ahmed Rosario, Chris Taylor, Kiki Hernandez. For sure, those three have some pinch hit risk. But Chris Taylor against a lefty, you can always play that. I have some interest in these Dodgers. I think I like the Padres a little bit more, some of these other teams a little bit more, but can never go wrong with the late night Dodgers on a Friday night here. Are you with me?
Yeah, We the People thinks Mookie gets his 40th tonight. I'm gonna one up him. I'm gonna say my guy Ronald Acuna Jr. gets his 40th tonight. I have these Braves ahead of these Dodgers tonight. I have a little bit more respect for Manaea than I do Patrick Corbin, and you can't play the Braves and the Dodgers. So give me Acuna to get his 40th. Give me the Braves to outscore the Dodgers. I don't think Mookie's the worst play. Obviously, I think he's a great play, actually. But full stack, I do not like the Dodgers. I would take Mookie as a one-off, and then no Giants for me. They just can't get it done. If they beat me, if they're the team out of 24 teams that beat me, so be it. But I will be having the Braves in all my teams tonight and finding another stack. But good luck to Mookie. Hope he gets his 40th. Good luck to Ron Acuna. Hope he gets his 40th as well.
Yeah, to Two great chances there for hitting a home run. And if we look at our metrics over here, surprise, Ronald Acuna, number 1 ranked hitter on the entire slate. Mookie Betts not far behind. So definitely checks out over here. That's all 11 games. We talk pitching. We talk game by game. We'll go into our favorite segment of the night. It's our low-owned pitcher call first, and then our home run call or calls. I'm going to give 2 home run calls once we get there, but I'll kick it over to you first. How much your low-owned pitcher call of the evening?
Low on pitcher call, and we have not talked about him. I mentioned him briefly. He's not one of my top 4, but if you want to get in a tournament, I think Charlie Morton at 9.9 on DraftKings is a great tournament option, a great pivot off the top 2 who are going to garner ownership. I think you get Charlie Morton under 10% on DK tonight, and that's an ultimate GPP play because he's going to be unowned and he's feast or famine. Could certainly get you 30. He could also get you 3. So Charlie Morton's my call for my low-owned pitcher of the night.
Yeah, I'm Bill B is going to like this one in the call. I'm seeing him still projected right around 15% ownership. I think that's far too low. Sawyer Gibson Long going to post a big number here tonight against these Athletics. No Lawrence Butler talk tonight. SGL going to post us 23 DraftKings points tonight here at 7,700. You're going to need him on your team, so I absolutely love him here tonight. Kick it over to you first. Your home run call. Where are you going, man?
Yeah, I did some more digging while you were talking, and we the people, we're doing it tonight. We're going for the 40-40 club. Both of our guys, we the people, Betts and Acuna, both going yard tonight. We're going to join the 40-40 club tonight. No other man in the history of the sport has done it like Ronald Acuna, in my opinion. I think he's got 60-some-odd stolen bases. He's going to have 40 bombs. What an incredible talent. He hits his 40th tonight. And then the late-night hammer, Mookie Betts, gets his 40th as well.
Yeah, well, you gave 2 spend-ups, 2 guys up at the top. I'm going 2 guys in their projected bottom of the order. I'm going number 1 on those Orioles. I talked about him a lot. My favorite value play on that team. It's a lefty. It's Heston Kjerstad there. I think he takes Shane Bieber deep. Then I'm going to those Seattle Mariners, who I think you can 5-man stack and mini stack. I'm going to the bottom of the order there, slated to hit 5th. Actually is hitting 5th. Both of them are confirmed. He's hitting 8th. Dominic Canzone at 3K there against Mr. Dane Dunning, guaranteed 9th at bat. So 2 of the lower the order, cheaper value guys. You need salary to spend up at pitchers, spend up on those Braves, spend up on some of these other offenses. I'm going to do value guys that have a lot of power. Both rank very well over here. Both going to get the job done tonight, hopefully. That's going to do it. We appreciate everyone tuning in. If you haven't hit that like button already, please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. We appreciate everyone. Good luck tonight in your contest. Hopefully we see all those SHIPIT Nation logos at the top. We see the screenshots later on tonight where we can celebrate, have a couple drinks, kick back and watch a lot of green go into that DraftKings balance and into your bank account. Good luck, everyone, tonight. For Hamwich, I'm Nades. We'll catch you guys next time. Let's ship it.